off from deployment, he would visit her for a week or two out of the year, but it wasn't like a constant presence. And so we were together for, I would say, over a year and a half. And we got a call from his, okay, not from his, from this, the child's mom's half brother's wife, so her sister in law, saying that she's dropping her off, your child off here all the time. She looks like she's prostituting. There's drugs involved. It's just a messy, messy mess. So he had to fly out there. We had to fight for custody, which we won full custody of. And shortly after, her mom did landed in jail for a couple years. So all of a sudden, not being a step parent to being a step parent, it seemed like overnight. Now, I do want to say that I wanted a family. I just wanted a family with my husband. Like, and then knowing that he had a child, I knew that, okay, yeah, she would come visit maybe a few weeks out of the year, which is fine. And I would just be like a bonus mom. And I was okay with that because it wasn't like a full time deal. Like, I wouldn't have to, like, there would be a bond slowly forming. Unfortunately for both of us, we were pushed together through circumstances and the bond wasn't there immediately. We got her. She had lots of issues. I mean, she saw her mom get arrested. We don't know what she saw as a young child, a younger child. She's almost 11 now. Um, she was very disrespectful. She had no structure. She had 8 cavities when we got her, so her mom never really took care of her hygiene wise. And it was just like a lot that I was not prepared because I thought in my fantasy world that, oh, I'll have a baby and then we'll see it grow, that bond will form, and then they'll learn your ways of doing things, and then you back off when they're being like becoming their own person. But we had someone who was already becoming her own person at a fast level and saw probably things a kid should never see and dealing with a lot of stuff. And it was just a lot of anger, a lot of issues. So I had to learn quickly, and it was not easy. A lot of pushback from her. I had to learn to control my expectations because I'm like, well, a kid should be like this, 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 this. And that's not how it was at all. It was like, okay, I need to provide structure, and I provided structure, but I was being too tough, I think, in the beginning, and it was hard to form that bond. And now, as the years goes by, she's so much better, but you can tell she still has anger issues, and I'm realizing a lot of the anger issues is from the lack of communication from her mom, who is out of jail at the moment and working a lot apparently. But she doesn't reach out to her as often. And of course, she's very respectful for her father, um, which I see the difference. It's like, okay, blood is different than because he's the role of the father and I'm the role of the mother. But the mom, the real mother, should be there. And I understand her frustration. And I think she takes it out on me. She always gives a pass to her mom, excuses for her mom. Oh, my mom's working, so that's why she can't reach out to me and stuff like that. But then I end up getting the brunt of the attitude and everything else. I did have to go, a counselor, me, had to go to a counselor to find ways for me and her to connect in a better understanding because it was so outside of my element. And she did say that she saw the attitude right away, and she did say it seems like her anger is towards her mom, but she is taking it on you, and she's not aware of that yet. So I had to learn to be thoughtful, more considerate towards her, less angry at the situation that I felt like I put myself in, because it was a lot to deal with, because I wanted to be mom. I didn't want to be stepmom. But the one thing I could tell you that I think that's helped in the situation is I never pushed to be her mom. I always encourage her to put up pictures of her mom. I'm not in a competition. I never say, call me mom. She calls me by her name or stepmom. And she has her mom. And that's a role I'll never replace. So although I am a step parent, I still don't fully feel like I'm a mother the way I think I would feel if I had my child. Not taking away that my love and care for her, because I do love and care for her. And our relationship over time has gotten a lot better. She's getting straight A's at school, she's being more respectful, and life has gotten a lot better between us. Yeah, there's times when it gets kind of dicey, but there's finally a bond there. Now, I have been told by someone who did research that when a step parent and a stepchild come together, apparently, let's say they come in at 8 years old, it'll take 3 years. So you want to just add the number of their age to how many years it will be for that bond to form. So if a 3 year old comes, it'll by this time they're 6, there's that parental bond between the step parent and the stepchild. So with her coming in by the time she was almost 6, so by the time she's 12, should be cemented. I don't know if that's true, but it makes sense because with my personal experience, my stepdad, I was 8 or 9. And so by the time I got close to that age, 16 or 18, it was kind of too late because I was ready for my independence and leave. So I do believe the younger you become a step parent, the easier it is. Now, it's not for everyone. There's always, there's always nothing's always in the box, so to speak. There's always exceptions to the rules, as you know. And I do believe that the younger the child, or if, like, let's say she didn't have her mom present in her life, then of course she's going to need to navigate to the parent who's closest to that parent. But her mom's always been in her life, so I was not always, I would not, and I refuse to compete because it's not my place to compete. So I just be the parent I need to be to create that structure. But I also need to learn to, and I have learned to soften up because she does need more of my fun side, more of my patient side, more of more of a loving side. Even though creating structure, being a parent, is kind of like tough love, and it is a form of love that they need. You can step back and be silly and have fun. And that's the thing I had to learn. And I think it's easier for me, I think, if you have your own child, because that bond's formed at such a young age. And again, it's not for everyone. Like some people, that instant Brady Bunch family can happen. And it does happen out there. I think it's more of a minority than majority. But it can happen. So I'm not saying it cannot happen. I'm just stating that sometimes it takes more work and you have to be committed. And luckily, I was committed and we're off to a better place, I feel. So feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear about what tips and tricks you had forming that bond with your step parent or stepchild. It's not easy, and hopefully, someone can relate to this. Just because a child is a child does not give them permission to be rude, disrespectful. They need guidance, and as a job of a parent is to provide that guidance. If you're not providing those tools for success in life, you get kids who are disrespectful, who don't listen to authority, who thinks they can do anything and get themselves in trouble. So yeah, that's my podcast for today. I will be discussing more down the road, but I think this is a good part to stop. So if hopefully you don't have to subscribe today, give me a time to hopefully win you over. And when I do, please subscribe. I would love to have a huge community. I'm very hopeful. And again, visit my website at www.safe1.com to look at my blogs, my healthy recipes, inspiration. I am also going to have a Instagram account, a Safe One Guru. That's going to be coming up soon. And yeah, so I hope you learned something from this, or at least have a discussion, or can relate and understand. If not, feel free to leave comments. I will try to respond to them, or do another episode to discuss it. And hope everyone has a wonderful week, and we will talk again. All right. Take care, my friends.